Hey guys, John Jr. here, bringing you guys another video. This time I am so excited to be bringing you guys APA Wi-Fi Season 5 draft analysis. For those of you who already watch me, who know me from outside of the APA, thank you guys so much for sticking around. If you did not know, we got into the APA Wi-Fi. We were the one applicant that made it into the league, which I am eternally grateful for and I'm so excited for. But if you do know me just from APA and checking me out from other coaches, welcome. I hope you guys enjoy. We are your Portland Nightshaders. I am John Jr. And let's go ahead and get into this draft breakdown. First and foremost, before we get into anything else, I do want to do shoutouts, but I should probably explain the format a little bit. For those of you who haven't watched some other draft analysis, this format is a lot different than other formats. This format was made by aDrive, I do believe, and it's a matter of like, we draft 3 different times. We draft once, play 4 weeks, draft another time, play 4 weeks, draft another time, play 4 more weeks, and then those that make the playoffs draft out of those 33 mons that they had as long as they fit under tier restrictions, and that's your playoff team. And I think it's really cool, adds a new layer of competitive for Ultra Sun and Moon, because Ultra Sun and Moon is getting a tad bit stale. Let's all be a little bit honest here. So I think it's really cool and it's going to be really fun. And that's the new format. If you guys don't know what draft format is, you should probably look around a little bit, or you probably wouldn't know this video. But we had the 12th pick, I do believe. But before we get into that, I want to give some huge shoutouts here. I have a couple notes written down, but I want to give some huge shoutouts here. First of all, I got to give a huge shout out to George. George is one of my good friends. He is my front office, and he's just a great friend of mine, and really helps me out on like every front, whether that be drafting, whether that be prepping, whether that be just being there when I need someone to be there to talk about mons or talk about something, talk about a matchup. George is always there. Huge shout out to him. Shoutouts to Owen, Ogle, Mid Pokemaster Jesse, Corey, Lego My Ego, and Jesse, Not a Suspect. They are all in my front office as well, and they're all really good friends of mine. They've all helped me out with this draft, which I needed a lot of help on because I got sniped more times than I can count. Like, it was actually ridiculous. Almost every round I got sniped, probably twice, and I really do want to go back and recount how many times I got sniped. But 2 more shoutouts. I want to give a huge shout out to Kurt. He is another coach in this league. Make sure to go check him out if you have not already. He makes some great content, and he's a great guy. He's one of the reasons that I'm in this, and I don't even know what to say. I'm extremely grateful for him. He let me in his PMU Wi-Fi league, and ever since then I've been getting more and more into these Wi-Fi leagues, more and more into this APA community, and I'm so grateful for him. But of course, the biggest shout out has to go to Panther. Panther 2, if you guys don't know him, he is one of the commissioners of the APA and one of my best friends. He's such a cool guy, and ever since I met him, funny story. You guys are here for a minute. There's probably a timestamp in the description that says when the actual draft analysis starts, so I can tell a story. Me and my buddy Owen, who actually, there's one more shout out after Panther. Ignore I said my buddy Owen, but my buddy Owen, my best friend, was starting up a showdown league, and we had, I think it was a 12-team league, which is really small, but we had 11 people. We were looking for a 12th person, and he was like, I'll message my favorite YouTuber Panther, and he'll reply, we'll get him in there. And I was like, well, do it then, you won't. And he did it, and Panther replied, and that blew our minds at the time. That was so crazy. He joined, and he got frozen in the finals, spoiler alert to me, and I did beat him for that championship, but he joined. That's the main thing there, and it was so cool to have him join. And ever since then, him, Owen, and myself have been really good friends, and he's helped us get into APA Showdown. He's helped us get to know a lot of really cool people, and without Panther, man, I don't even know. Like, Panther, he's been like a father figure almost to me. Like, he's such a cool guy, and he's one of my best friends. So huge shout out to him. I cannot shout him out enough. He's one of the nicest people on the face of this earth too. He helps connect everybody, and I'm very grateful for him. But lastly, the biggest shout out. We have an assistant coach, and I wanted him on this draft analysis, kinda, but this is me. This is Portland Nightshaders. This is me. Our assistant coach, though, is Owen, Obo29. He's a great guy, my best friend, and he is one of the reasons that I'm really into competitive Pokemon. I was a very competitive player, but I didn't really have any great friends in competitive Pokemon. Just, you know, I got some friends into it, some buddies to play with me, but I never got my really good friends into it, and got them to stick with it, at least. Some people would play it, maybe do... we used to do free drafts. Some people would do that with me for a little bit, but Owen is the only one that I got into it that has stuck with it, and I'm grateful for him because he helps me get better every single day. He helps me mock, he helps me prep, he helps me think about things that I wouldn't otherwise think about, and he may be on a little bit of a losing streak right now. I may be a tad bit better than him, but Owen helps me every day, not just in Mons, but in life, and I'm really, really grateful for him. He is the best friend that I could ask for. But that's enough for the shoutouts, guys. Let's go ahead and get into the draft analysis. I've got all of the picks written down right here. You guys will see them on screen. Huge shout out to Dan for the layouts. It is beautiful, and it just took a couple clicks to make the layouts ourselves, so it was amazing. He did a great job with it. And also shout out to Miticus for being another one of the commissioners and pulling for me to get into the league as well. You guys are awesome. The community is awesome, and I am so excited to be a part of this community. But without further ado, actually one more further ado. The webcam's horrible, and I'm sorry, but I have a laptop, so like the USB power is really weird. I have a really good webcam, but I have to set the quality really low, otherwise you guys will hear my voice cut in and out all the time, and that's not fun for anybody. So lower webcam quality, higher sound quality, I think is pretty fair there. But let's start off with our first overall pick. Like I said, I got sniped insanely much, like insanely so. My original plan going into this draft was Mega Scizor, Victini, and there was something else. I can't remember what the something. Torn-T. Mega Scizor, Victini, and Torn-T. Torn-T was a stretch. I really didn't expect to get Torn-T, but it was like, oh, I really hope to get Torn-T. I think that'd be really cool to use with Mega Scizor, Victini, get some U-turn action in here, see what we can do with that. But, and obviously Victini, in my opinion, Victini is a top 10 mon in the format. You can disagree with me if you wish. I can respect your opinions. But I think Victini is a top 10 mon in the format. So when both Scizor and Victini were left at 12th pick, I went with Mega Scizor here, Rock, Paper, Scizor, and also I apologize for all of the shinies. All of them are going to be shiny because those are the HD sprites I have. Rock, Paper, Scizor here is not going to be shiny, but his name is Rock, Paper, ... because Rock, Paper, Mega Scizor. Anyway, I think it's really cool. That's one of my favorite nicknames, but I went with Mega Scizor because I thought that if Victini got taken, I would be a lot more comfortable building a team around Mega Scizor than Victini. Victini's a really cool Pokemon. It's really fun to use. One of my all-time favorites. I named him Emvee. He's a cool guy. But Mega Scizor is a lot easier to build a team around. It has a lot of things that you really want in the mon. It has the ability to be ran in an offensive way and a defensive manner. It has Roost. It has reliable recovery is huge for me. I absolutely love reliable recovery. It has Roost. It has Defog. It has Stab Bullet Punch, which priority is amazing. It has pivoting and U-turn, stab pivoting at that. It's such a good mon, and it's so easy to build around. It's got that nice steel typing, which of course Fairy Dragon Steel cores, in my opinion, are the most important cores in Draft League. So Mega Scizor is just all around a phenomenal Pokemon, and yes, Victini is really cool too. Has the strongest move in the game in V-Create, aside from like Explosion, Self-Destruct, Z moves. Has the strongest move in the game in V-Create, and it has momentum as well. But it is also weak to Rock. It doesn't have Defog. It has momentum, but it's like if the rocks drop, it doesn't matter. Scizor can get rid of those rocks. Scizor can recover. Victini can't do that. So I went with Scizor here. It's a great mon and a great starting piece in my opinion for any team. And the next pick, Victini got taken. Literally the next pick by Leader Geo. He went with a mono psychic team. Go check out his draft video. I'm sure it's up by the time you guys are seeing this. But he got Victini with that pick. So when that happened, I was like, man, I knew this was probably going to happen, so I'm not too upset, but I really wish I would have got Teeny over Scizor, because I don't think anybody would have taken Mega Scizor now that I'm looking back at it, but it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. We got Rock, Paper, Scizor, we're rocking out with it, and we're going to see what we can build around it. So, the second pick, I really liked my initial draft plan, I really did, so I thought, okay, Victini is replaceable. There is one mon that I had my eye on that we could easily replace Victini with, so I was like, okay, we're not scrapping the plan yet. We're going to keep the plan in action. We're going to keep trying to get it. My front office advised me it wasn't the worst idea in the world. There were better options, but if this is really what I was set on, which it was, then let's go for it. So with the second pick, I went with Tornadus-Therian. And it's so funny too because WolfeyGlick, he picked, I believe, right after me or right before me. One of the two. Maybe Leader Geo picked 2 picks after me, and WolfeyGlick picked right before me. But he was going to try to get it in round 3, and it would have been so funny if it came all the way back around to me round 3, and I would have got it right before him. But that would have been hilarious. But he was already foaming when I picked it here. But Torn-T's a great mon. My assistant coach Owen would say that it's one of the best top 5 mons in the format. I don't agree. I think it's the 11th best mon in the format. It's top 15 to me. It's a great mon. It has Regenerator, a flying type. It has U-turn. U-turn is huge. I love U-turn so much. Regenerator is huge. Recovery is huge for me. I'm a big recovery player. It has knockoff. It can be ran physical or special. It's got one of the best stabs in the game in flying type, although it doesn't have the best moves to take advantage of that. However, it is a Z-Mon because we are running a free Z format, and while I don't like a free Z format very much at all, it is what it is, and Torn and some of our next picks are really good Z-Mon, so I'm okay with it, I guess, but Torn is just such a cool mon. Having the ability to pivot is going to be so nice, especially with Mega Scizor. We can pivot in and out, and Torn Hurricane is going to hurt a lot, especially if we have that Z Hurricane. Torn also gets access to Heat Wave, Superpower. There's another special move, Focus Blast. It gets Focus Blast. It gets a lot of moves that are really nice, and it's able to hit a lot of different mons. I really do like Torn. I've been using it a lot recently. Not to a ton of success as I would have liked, but Torn's just still a really fun mon. I think it fits really nicely with Mega Scizor. It is weak to rocks, but you know, Mega Scizor has Defog, and I just think that Torn and Mega Scizor just fit really nicely together. But next up here, with the 3rd overall pick, I went with another mon that I think was on the original plan. I can't really remember, because I got sniped a lot, but I think this was on the original plan. I think I originally planned to take this 4th. We got LTGray, Raikou. I call him LTGray. Oh, I call Tornadus Bird Brain. I'm going to say all my nicknames, but I call Tornadus Bird Brain. I call Raikou LTGray. LTGray will be shiny. Tornadus will not be shiny. LTGray here, I love Raikou so much. One of my favorite Pokemon in the world. But if you guys notice a pattern here, we have Volt Turn. Raikou is a very fast mon that has access to Volt Turn. I've recently, if you guys will go back watch some of my latest draft leagues, I have some really whack, really jank speed tiers in a lot of those leagues. So my mindset going into this was, okay, I don't want jank speed tiers. I want fast mons. I want to go first. I want to hit hard, and I want to get out of there. Volt Turn is perfect for that, and I think that Tornadus and Raikou both fit that very perfectly. Raikou is a mon that I've had a lot of success with in the past. In that league that I was talking about with Panther, I won a championship with it. I drafted it in Season 2 of that same league, and I made it to the finals. Unfortunately, I got 1-0'd in the finals. It was a really good game if you want to go check that out. But Raikou is such a cool mon. Unfortunately, it does have access to a lot of really cool moves, but not as much diverse coverage as you would like. It has access to like Signal Beam, Volt Switch, Shadow Ball. It really relies on hidden powers. It doesn't have the most diverse move pool, but it has base 115 speed, and I believe 115 special attack, but it's a very nice Calm Mind setup sweeper with Substitute, and it's a very nice Z-Mon. Very nice Z-Mon. Hits super hard. Sub-Lefties Calm Mind is a really cool set. I believe it has access to Roar. There's just a lot of things it can do, but it does get access to Aura Spear, which is really nice to break like ground types that are part rock, you know, things like that, steel types that you otherwise wouldn't hit very effectively, or dark types even. However, in order to run Aura Spear, you have to be plus special attack minus Spadef because of an event that happened back in like whenever Heart Gold Soul Silver came out, 2012 I want to say. And it's the only time I learned Aura Spear, and that's jank because we can't run Timid if we want to run Aura Spear, which sucks. It sucks a lot, and that's one of Raikou's biggest downfalls, and that's why I really think that it's a tier 2 over a tier 1, but I'll take Raikou any day. I think it fits very nicely with this core. It is weak to electric, but as you will come to find out, we don't really care about electric weakness as much. Obviously Tornadus is immune. Scizor, our steel type, is not weak to, did I say electric? It's not weak to ground, is what I meant to say. And then, oh man, I wrote down, hold on. There we go, fixed. I just think Raikou fits really nicely. Like I said, we're still rocking with that Volt Turn core, and I think it's going to work out really nicely. But moving on to our 4th pick, I didn't think we could wait on this any longer, so I went ahead and pulled the trigger. This is our Victini replacement, and I don't think this is a tier 1 Pokemon at all. Infernape, Wukong, who will not be shiny. I like Infernape a lot, and I've wanted to use it for a while, but to me, in tier 1, it's a little bit overpriced. But honestly, looking at our replacement options for Victini, I really didn't think that we had the most options here. Infernape gives us a Rocker, Infernape gives us another U-Turnip. I really want those fast speed tiers, base 108 speed tier. I'm not sure on the special attack and attack style off the top of my head. They might also be base 108. It's a really good mixed attacker, access to Blaze, access to Iron Fist. It has both priorities in fighting type, obviously, with Mach Punch and Vacuum Wave. It has a good physical and special move pool, Overheat, Fire Blast, Focus Blast on the special side, and then Close Combat, Flare Blitz, and even Thunder Punch on the physical side. It's a really, really cool mon, and I've really been looking forward to using it, but like I said, it's not exactly what I would call a Tier 1 Pokemon. I just don't think it has the power to be a Tier 1 Pokemon. That's my opinion, but it is a Z-Mon, which is really, really cool, and it is the closest thing that we had to Victini. Our other option was like, I don't even know another fire type. Incineroar. Our other option was Incineroar, but obviously, you know, Incineroar is not a Tier 1 Pokemon, so it wouldn't have been easily replaced. So Infernape just fit into the slot really nicely. Kind of disappointed that we had to get Infernape over Victini, but really excited to use Infernape at the same time. It's weird. We only get to use it for 4 games, so it's nothing crazy, but it's a really cool Pokemon. I'm really looking forward to using it. So moving on to number 5, a lot of grass types were going, and this was a point in the draft where some stuff happened, and I wanted Decidueye, but Panther wanted Decidueye, so Panther and I helped each other plan, so I wasn't going to take Decidueye, although I love Decidueye so much, and it has U-turn, if you guys couldn't tell, U-turn, but I went for Tsareena here. Tsareena, who I am going to name Jessie after Mid-Pokemaster, but I'm going to name it Jessie with an IE because that's the female version of Jessie. I think that's pretty cool. But Tsareena obviously has Rapid Spin, has access to U-turn, but it's not the grass type I wanted. I really, really wanted Decidueye because Decidueye not only had access to Defog as well as U-turn, but it also has access to setup on both sides and the ability to stop Rapid Spin, so I really wanted Decidueye, but it's okay, we'll make Tsareena work. Tsareena hits super hard with a base, I want to say 120 attack. I'm not looking at any of this stuff up, by the way, but I'm just looking at the camera. But Tsareena has base, I believe, 120 attack. It's not very slow, base around 70 speed. It might be like 72, if I remember correctly. It's a really cool mod, has reliable recovery and synthesis, which is huge for me. And it's just a really cool Pokemon. It has Play Rough, which we're never going to hit. If you guys have not watched me before, I don't hit Play Rough. Play Rough never hits. It has access to High Jump Kick, has access to Trop Kick, as well as Power Whip. It's just a knockoff even. Knockoff is going to be really, really huge, but it's just a really, really cool Pokemon. And another U-turn mon, so that's it fits the team. But next up here, I'm getting a little bit sad because next pick, I really wanted Vaporeon. I thought Vaporeon would tie this team together and make this team basically perfect. But our good buddy Kurt had to take it. Thanks, Kurt. I appreciate you. He had to take it the round we were going to get it. It might have been last round that I wanted it, and he took it then. Actually, I don't remember. But he took Vaporeon, and it was the glue that I really wanted to tie this team together. I absolutely love using Vaporeon, and I really thought that a good Wish Passer with a great U-turn team is exactly what you want, because it has access to Baton Pass. You can Baton Pass those Wish. Oh my gosh, Vaporeon would have been perfect. But alas, we did not get Vaporeon, so we had to change our team up a lot. At this point, Mega Scizor, Tornadus, Raikou, and replacement Victini, also known as Infernape, those were all planned. Those were all something that we wanted. Tsareena was our backup pick to Decidueye, so we were kind of there, right there. Like it was like, we got somewhat of the team that we envisioned, and then everything fell apart. Vaporeon got taken. We really wanted Donphan. Donphan got taken. We wanted Gardevoir. Gardevoir got taken. We wanted, obviously Decidueye. I don't know if I already said Decidueye. There were a lot of mons. There were a lot of low tier mons too. I think Sneasel was one of them. Seismitoad maybe. I don't know. If I'm not lazy, I'll go back in the chat and count it and put it on the screen for you guys. But I'm lazy, so don't expect that. Maybe I'll do it one day. But we got Primarina here. Primarina, Ariel the Primarina. Not a fan of Primarina at all. But our fairy options were very, very limited. Our option at this point was regular Diancie. I'm not a fan of regular Diancie at all, so we went with Primarina here. Primarina is a really cool Pokemon, has water and fairy stab, hits very, very hard on the special side. Like, there's not very much that can switch into its dual stabs, and it's a pretty alright Scarfer. Base 60 speed, excuse me, base 60 speed isn't the fastest in the world, but it's also not the slowest. It's a pretty good midpoint for Scarfers. I'm not sure offhand what it can outspeed, but it's a pretty cool Pokemon. Not happy we got it. Not happy we got it at all. Really want a Vaporeon here. Extremely so. But the fairies were very limited at this point. The waters were very limited at this point. We got stuck with Primarina. Not what I wanted at all. Not excited to use Primarina at all. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. But moving on here, round 7, we did get a dragon that we did kind of envision. He was, I believe he was our backup dragon, maybe. What was our original dragon? Our original dragon might have been Hydreigon. which I do say like that. That is the proper pronunciation, by the way. Watch True Green 7. But I did want Hydreigon and Sylveon at one point. I wanted both of those, but they both got taken. So it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But we got Druddigon here. Druddigon is a really, really cool Pokemon. I think Druddigon fits really, really nicely with his U-turn core, just for the sheer fact that obviously it's a really nice, reliable stealth rocker, which we were lacking other than Infernape, which is really, really nice. But it also has access to Glare, and Glare, in my opinion, is going to be huge on a Volt Turn team, making things slower than us, so we can just go ahead and pivot out on them, no problem. Really helps out something like Mega Scizor that otherwise is gonna get some slow U-turns off, but won't really outspeed much. Doesn't really like it doesn't mind taking the hit unless it's a fire type hit, which most things are going to carry for Mega Scizor. So being able to glare those things and make sure they can't hit Mega Scizor is going to be really, really nice. It also gives us a physical defensive wall, which I'm very, very comfortable when I'm playing with a team that has a guaranteed physical wall, guaranteed special wall, and even a backup physical and special wall, good pivots, good Wishmon, things like that. So Druddigon makes me feel a lot safer having him in the back ready to rock. We do name him Leo after SixftHax, who is in this league, by the way, which blows my mind. He's one of my favorite YouTubers, and I've been watching him for like 2 or 3 years. Like, that's probably not an exaggeration, but I've been watching him since I got really, really into Draft League format. Actually, it's been like a year and a half, maybe. Something like that. It's been a good minute, actually, but it blows my mind because he's one of my favorite Pokemon YouTubers, and we drafted him. That's crazy. But Druddigon, really looking forward to using him here. Gonna be so fun to use him. Actually, I really do think Glare is gonna come in clutch. And I think just in general, Druddigon's a pretty good dragon. Base 120 attack. It has access to Mold Breaker, access to Sheer Force, access to Rough Skin. Obviously, Rough Skin Rocky Helmet is very, very prominent. I'm just really looking forward to using Druddigon. Really cool. I almost said kun because it's fun and cool, but anyway, Druddigon's gonna be a really cool mon and really pivotal member of the squad. But next up here, we are going to be picking up Gligar, Baby Oboe. My best friend Owen, we call him Oboe. There was one time when he was very first getting into Draft League format. This was when we did free drafts too, which is a whole other story. But we were doing free drafts, and he was like, I really need another Defogger, another Stealth Rock user, and there's literally nothing left. And I was like, Owen, let me show you a little thing called Gligar. It's a really cool Pokemon, and NFEs are actually viable, so here you go and try it. He tried it, and it instantly became one of his favorite Pokemon. So Baby Oboe it is. He will not be shiny, but Baby Oboe is a really cool Pokemon. I really like Gligar, which is really ironic because I absolutely despise using Gliscor. My least favorite Pokemon to use. Definitely want to give it another shot eventually though, but Gligar is another Stealth Rock user, very, very reliable Stealth Rock user at that. Has access to Roost, which, you know I love me some reliable recovery. Has access to U-turn, which is huge. Has access to Stealth Rock and Defog. I don't know if I mentioned that already. I mentioned Stealth Rock, not Defog. And has access to one of the best ground stabs, or one of the best stabs in ground. Doesn't have the best flying stab, but that's okay. It's just a really, really cool Pokemon, really good physical wall, and he's gonna be here to help us out, help tank hits. And I don't think that we're like insanely weak to ice. Ugh. Ice types don't feel good, but we've got some checks for him. Primarina every week. Yachi Berry, Gligar, why not? But Gligar is a really cool Pokemon. Not only is it a defensive threat, it also has some offensive utility. I've seen people use Swords Dance Agility Gligar, or one of the two, and it actually puts in a ton of work. Unfortunately, it's not as good as Gliscor in the sense that it doesn't have Toxic or Poison Heal, but it does have access to Immunity, which is really, really nice on a physical wall, or a wall in general, so you can't get Toxic. It's super huge. Unfortunately, we are forced to run Eviolite on it each and every week if we do decide to run it defensively, which we will more times than not. So it's a little bit unfortunate. That's a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. And I'm really looking forward to using Baby Oboe this season. But next up here with our 9th overall pick, this is when things were just like, we gotta grab what's left. We got Seabat, the Tentacruel. It's not gonna be shiny. I'm a big fan of Tentacruel, but with this draft, I'm not really. It's our other ground weakness, the other one being Raikou, and Infernape. I forgot about Infernape, the wannabe Victini. But Tentacruel is a cool Pokemon in the sense that it has access to Toxic Spikes, which U-turn teams very, very much want to take advantage of hazards. Unfortunately, we didn't get grab Spikes because Spikes got taken by everybody. I wanted Garbodor, I wanted Frostlass, there's one other Spikemon I wanted, but we couldn't get any of them, unfortunately, so we went with Tentacruel here, just to make sure that we had at least 2 of the 3 hazards, if you don't include Sticky Webs. But having another water type, doubling up on water types may seem odd, but I really like doubling up on water types if neither of them or one of them don't have reliable recovery, because water is such a prominent type and such a hard type to break in Draft League format. Unfortunately, Tentacruel is a little bit easier to break because of that glaring, like 60-ish base defense. Like, it's nasty. But I really do like Tentacruel. Skull is one of the most spammable moves in the game. Toxic Spikes are going to be huge. He can take any special hit for any amount of time that you want him to. And it's just such a cool Pokemon. It's actually really fast, too. And don't you dare think that I won't run fast Tentacruel to outspeed your base 95s or whatever you have. I will run a max speed Tentacruel if you test me. This is also one of the things, like, I needed a mon that hit base 100 for my speed tiers, and that made, what was it? Oh, I wanted Porygon Z, but guess who took that? Kurt. I wanted a mon to make base 100s have to run either Timid or Jolly, not being able to run that Modest or Adamant. So Tentacruel fits the bill by being able to run base 100. I want to warn you guys, I will run max speed Tentacruel. Don't you dare think I won't. Don't you dare think I won't run max speed Tentacruel. But I wanted Porygon Z because it hit base 90, which, if you guys don't know, at, what is it? What am I trying to say? My brain just lost it. When it comes to base stats, if they hit like base 100, they have to run Jolly to outspeed like 14 below them. So let's say I have a base 80, what is it, like 87 speed mon, then their base 100 mon can't run Modest or Adamant, because then my base 87 mon will outspeed them. However, if I have a base 86 mon and they are able to run Modest and or Adamant and still outspeed me, it might be base 85, not 86. I might be one number off, but I know I'm bad at explaining things and I apologize. But so basically, Porygon was base 90 speed, Porygon Z, and I was like, sure, let's get it. And Kurt was like, let's not get it. So I got Tentacruel for the speed, doubling up on waters, and Toxic Spikes. I'm sorry, but next up here, 10th overall. Let me just set the stage here. One of the best mon in League format. I don't know how it made it to me this late in the draft. One of the most pivotal mons in my entire Draft League career. Has won me more games than almost any Pokemon out there, and it's just such a cool mon, and it is the biggest steal for Tier 5, my boy Audino, Nurse Boy. Let me tell you guys something, Audino is the most underrated Pokemon in Draft League format. I absolutely love Audino, and it's a Tier 4 Pokemon. Don't even start this argument with me. Audino is a Tier 4 Pokemon, always and forever. In Tier 5, I think Audino really is the best Tier 5 Pokemon, besides maybe like Garbodor. Garbodar's pretty cool because, you know, spikes is really cool. But Audino is such a cool Pokemon, man. It has access to Regenerator and Wish, and that's all you need to know. Regenerator plus Wish can help so many things. It also has access to Encore, which is really cool to help it not be setup fodder. It has access to Snatch, which is really fun because if someone tries to set up on you and you snatch their stats, they get freaked out and they have no idea what to do. You can also snatch subs, which is really cool. It gets access to Thunder Wave, it gets access to just a plethora of moves. Ice Beam, Fire Blast. I don't think it gets Thunderbolt. It might get Thunderbolt. Don't take my word for that. It gets Dazzling Gleam. It gets, maybe Grass Knot. I'm not entirely sure on that one. Hyper Voice. It's just such a cool Pokemon with such a wide variety of moves. I think Audino is one of the best Tier 4s when it should be Tier 4, but we got this little guy as a steal for Tier 5, one of my favorite Pokemon, and it really has helped me win actually a lot of games. Just defensive pivot Audino, like, people can't break that. Like, with Regenerator, it's just so crazy, dude. It's so crazy. And even, like, if you run it offensively, it has Calm Mind. I want you guys to be aware. It has access to Calm Mind. Let's sweep with an Audino 1 week. It's such a cool Pokemon, and I really like Regenerator paired with Torn. It's gonna be really fun to Wish Pass around into all my, like, Mega Scizor, Raikou, Infernape, all that. Unfortunately, it's not the Vaporeon we wanted, but Audino, I'm telling you guys, is going to be the glue that holds this team together for 4 games. But moving on here to our last pick, our 11th pick. We needed a Ghost. We didn't get Decidueye. We needed a Dark. Psychics ran all over us, so if we face a Geo, I didn't want to get smashed. So we got Spiritomb. Oogity the Spiritomb, he is going to be shiny. I don't really foresee us using this mon all that much. I'm not the biggest fan of Spiritomb, but it has access to Sucker Punch, it has access to Foul Play, it has access to Pursuit, Shadow Sneak. It just does ghost things. It's here to stop Rapid Spin, it's here to take hits from Psychics, here to trap Psychics, it's here to do its thing. I've never used Spiritomb before, so I'm not like an expert with Spiritomb by any means. I do know that it has I want to say base 108 defenses, because it was like the whole 108 spirit Pokemon or something like that. But Oogity the Spiritomb, he is going to be our 11th member. Kind of surprised we got it 11th round, because it isn't the worst Pokemon by any means. I believe it's tier 4. It isn't the worst Pokemon by any means, but I mean, it is what it is. I don't think we're going to get like an absolute ton of usage out of it, but that is going to be the squad, guys. To recap, our squad is Mega Scizor, Tornadus, Raikou, Infernape, Tsareena, Primarina, Druddigon, Gligar, Tentacruel, Audino, and Spiritomb. This team, like I said, it's not what I wanted at all. Envisioning the draft, I wanted Mega Scizor, Victini, Tornadus, and I think Raikou. And then I wanted like Decidueye, I wanted like all these other mons that we didn't get. At one point it was instead of what we had, it was like Mega Scizor, Sylveon, and Hydreigon too. I know I said that earlier, and you guys were probably confused, like you didn't have the points for that. I should have clarified my bet, but we got sniped a whole lot. But we're gonna make this team work, guys. It is such an honor to be in APA Wi-Fi, and I really hope that I can prove to you guys that I belong. I really hope so. I was the one applicant to get accepted, and that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure, but I'm ready for it, guys. I really am. We're going to face some of the best battlers that I've ever seen. Like WolfeyGlick, we're going to face SixftHax. There's just so many great battlers in this league that I'm looking forward to playing. Panther's one of the... you guys sleep on Panther. Panther's one of the best battlers I know and I've ever seen. So many great people in this league, such a great community, and I'm very much looking forward to it. But let me know what you guys think of this team down below. Let me know what you guys think of my commentary, what I can do to improve. Make sure to go check out some of my old videos if you are new, and make sure to check out all of the APA coaches down below. But I think that's going to do it for me here, guys. I got to get to editing this video, because I've got to upload it in like 2 days. Obviously not by the time you guys see it, but anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. And for now, guys, this has been John Jr. signing off.